Good morning, campers. We're gonna do another 2026 predictions reading. So if that's the first video of me ever that you're watching, you can watch the previous videos to get a little context. I'm doing this for all of my collectives to see what's coming, what's the guidance more than anything. What's the guidance for 2026? So we're going to start from what was your 2025, so you know that this is your collective. And if it is not your collective, you can check out the other videos, and I still have few collectives to go. All right, what was 2025. I'm gonna follow the same structure. I kind of enjoy it, so unless something comes to me, you guys know how we're all here. Alright. What? Too many. Too many. One more. Alright, let's take it. Two. Let's take it. Okay. Okay, we have heartbreak at the bottom of the deck. We have heartbreak at the bottom of the deck. We have awakening. That is your first card. So it's going to be a very important detail that you cannot make fit. 2025 would be a year that you have spiritually awakened. You have started your journey. I always say this to you guys, there is a trigger in our life that is meant to happen, that milestone on our destined path, that no matter what timeline we connect to, no matter what choices we make, it is inevitable. And that is the awakening. So this year, this collective, you would have awakened to your journey, which means that I can already say it would be a difficult year. It's never pretty. It's never easy. But it's magic. When our spirit awakens, we begin our journey of healing and remembrance. You have competitiveness. That's your first card. I was feeling with this love. I was hearing love with this. So maybe you had to face competition, energy of competition. Maybe you were connected to someone that you feel like this person was connecting to someone else, that you had to fight for their attention, that you have to prove, please choose me, I'm hearing. We have integrity as well. We have some beautiful cards. We have integrity as well. So maybe this year you had some lessons around what integrity really means. What does it really truly mean to have integrity, to be a person that has integrity? And we have compassion as well. So maybe you were faced with some karmic lessons this year where you were faced with people that made you realize what integrity, and that's what I'm hearing, what integrity means, what it doesn't mean, and how sometimes we've been put in front of people that lack that integrity, but we should always lead with compassion. Integrity and compassion would be important. And with that compassion, we have wholeness and awakening, two beautiful cards. This is number 4 and number 7. So maybe that has a meaning to this collective. I want to read through that integrity because this is important, but I feel like this was the year, as I said, as you awakened, you would realize that on some level, the meaning of life is to find wholeness. Is to find wholeness, is to become whole, is to collect all the pieces of our broken soul that we have left in past events that caused us trauma, that caused us pain. Return there, heal them and retrieve them. And on a journey of awakening and the divine feminine, we need to do that for all our lifetimes. Maybe at this point it's like you know already. Again, let's read through that integrity. Integrity is doing the right thing even though no one is watching. It is our internal compass towards our true path that allows us to stay connected to our soul instead of falling into temptation to satisfy the needs of our ego. When we lead with integrity, we choose the right way, not the easy way. We are true to ourselves and the promises we make. Our words are aligned with our actions, and that creates a foundation of trust for all our relationships, including the one we build with ourselves. When we are wounded, we don't fully understand what does it mean to do the right thing. Without firm system of values, we act from a place of fear and ego, and we tend to choose the easy way that benefits us short term. I was hearing a few things with this. So first was this first statement, doing the right thing when no one is watching. Maybe you were aligned with someone in your life 2025, so still this year, this current year, that you would watch them, how much they change depending on with whom they are. So maybe a person on your mind, it would make sense for this collective that they would act completely different with you and then completely different around their friends or maybe family members. It's exactly that. Depending on who's watching, I'm changing a mask, I'm changing a face, which is lack of integrity, truly. And the other thing that I was focusing on, it's to choose the right thing, not the easy thing, and stay connected instead of falling into temptation to satisfy the needs of the ego. So maybe you also observed someone taking the easy choices, the choices of the ego, choices that don't challenge the soul. Okay, let's do some tarot. What was the overall energy of year 2025? We have Knight of Pentacles and we have Queen of Swords. Knight of Pentacles is is truly about patience. Patience is on a journey of awakening and a journey of seek for our truth, for authenticity, journey of truth. Patience is so important. Understanding the importance of divine timing, surrendering. And patience is not waiting. Patience is trust. Patience is trust. Patience is surrendering. That if I really, really to my very core trust that something is meant for me, I know that it will be sent to me when it's ripe, in divine timing. It's the hardest thing we have to do on this journey. And is the most important thing that we have to do. It's truly the key. You wouldn't conquer this collective just yet because you are in the beginning of your journey. You've just awakened to your journey. But you would know at this point, you would feel that this journey is about patience. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. And we have Queen of Swords. That's on top of that competitiveness. I'm hearing third party. So again, we're gonna tap into more cards. We'll see if that's being clarified. Although these readings, if you've watched the previous ones, you know that I'm not wanting to do them for like a specific situation. I want to focus on you, your energy, what you're going through, your transformation, right? But I am sensing that this collective, you are connected to someone, and maybe there, because of that competitiveness, maybe there was situations of that third party, of you having to fight for someone's attention. And I feel this also pushed you inwards to really start to, there's something about this inner truth. Queen of Swords is all about inner truth. It's about fighting for yourself, standing for yourself, but not in the sense of fighting over with someone else. Do you know what I mean? It's about understanding who I am. What is my truth? What do I bring to the table? It is about assertiveness as well. She is about assertiveness. She is about, because I always say this to you guys, and every aspect has two sides of the coin. And this is why it's sometimes so tricky. And this is why my readings are so long. And I go so in depth into every concept, because people love to just grab ideas and turn them around, right? So when we say that we should fight for love, that we should fight for what we stand for, fight for what we believe in context of love and relationships, it doesn't mean fight with another person. If we talk about that love triangle situation, you should never fight, especially when you're a woman, because the core of being a true man is knowing what he wants. Knowing true divine masculine knows what he wants. And I always explain this to you guys. We live in a world that is very distorted right now. Tables are turned. Women are, because we live in a patriarchal society, a very distorted matrix, we're being pushed to sit in our masculine energy, which pushes men to be in their feminine energy, right? Because so people think that women are those that want commitment, that push for commitment, that push for family, for engagement, and so on and so forth. And then men are those that are free. But it's the distortion. It's the distortion. It's the distorted energy of a lone wolf that men are currently embodying, because in reality, it's fear of commitment. And fear of commitment is distorted feminine energy, right? Because when we talk about divine feminine and divine masculine, I always tell you guys, if you want to know more about these topics, and go to my website, there's a section Divine Love, you can find everything about it. But when we talk about divine feminine energy and divine masculine, one of the qualities is that us feminines, divine feminine energy, we are chaos. We are the creation. We are constantly navigating between the physical world and the veil. We sit on a portal, right? And we're madness. We're that chaos, right? So the fleeting energy should be the feminine, because she's always, right, devoted to her mission, devoted to God, escaping to the void, looking for guidance, looking for directions. And it's that man that grabs her and grounds her to create that wholeness, yin and yang. And it's the man that comes in with dedication, with commitment, right? So when man knows, if we would be reversing the situation, and I'd be reading for a man, and I'd be saying, you know that this is your woman, but perhaps you know that she's connecting to someone else, fight for it in an honorable way, right? In a masculine way, in a way full of that integrity, right? And compassion, right? But fight for your woman. But for a woman, never. Because if a man is forcing you into a third-party situation, if he's forcing you into choosing between, you and someone else, into proving who's better, it means he doesn't sit in his masculine energy. He doesn't know what he wants. He doesn't know who he is. There's a reason it's all coming to my mind. I feel this collective, you would have faced these challenges this year, which would show you and maybe teach you exactly that. Maybe you're still learning. We'll tap into that fighting for love, it doesn't mean fighting with another person. If there's a shred of doubt, true divine feminine, if there's a shred of doubt within a man, is it me or is it another woman? True divine feminine says, take another woman. Go and don't return, okay? Because it means that you're not in your masculine energy. And I don't need no distortion in my life. Integrity. 9 of Swords. I want to do one more. The High Priestess. The High Priestess. Hold on, you guys. I split the deck on the Vulture. We'll see if it will come through. So you have 2 swords in your energy. Air energy, earth energy, that may be significant, but I feel like, again, this year you would have awakened your, obviously you're not yet in your divinity, right? This collective, you would know this. As long as we're in pain, we're in longing, we're in confusion, it means that we don't stand strongly in our divinity, and it is fine. The journey is long. Slow and steady wins the race, right? But you would have tapped into your divinity. You understand now that there is more because you have awakened. You are tapping into that guidance. You are tapping into, and you know what I'm hearing as well? I am hearing a little bit of mystery and a little bit of, you being forced to surrender to the unknown, to surrender to the divine. But I'm hearing as well, when we are in the beginning of this journey, right? In the very beginning, when we're activated, when from a dormant vessel, through initiation with our masculine, he sort of awakens us and our kundalini rises in the first stages of that journey as we go through horrible pain and something that no one that ever been on this journey couldn't comprehend, right? It's not like other people don't go through pain, and any kind of spiritual awakening is brutal, but there's something magical in souls, and I say this to you guys all the time. Souls that chose a journey, a twin soul, which is a journey of all your lifetimes. Not everyone chooses that. Not everyone has a twin soul. Those are very few souls that said, I want to heal deeper than any other soul that walked this earth. So I'm going to separate myself further. Because overall, separation is just an illusion. We're all one supreme consciousness. But I want to separate myself further for deeper healing. And that other part of me will be floating around through lifetimes around me always. And I will always feel that subconsciously, right? So as we get activated to the journey, and even if we're not yet fully awakened, the kundalini is slowly rising. We're tapping into, we haven't tapped into our potential, our gifts. There's this moment when you receive visions. It also depends on who you really be, whether you're gonna be more of a visionary psychic, your clairs, which clairs will be the strongest. So you can have the inner knowing, you can have dreams, you can have feelings, you can have visions, you can hear certain things, but you're gonna be tapping into your fullest potential. And it will sound crazy because you're going to have visions with your masculine, seeing yourself with him on your highest timeline, happy, fulfilled, whole, right? And because you're getting these visions and you're new to the journey, you don't yet know what's going on, it feels like it's behind a corner. You're not imagining even what's in front of you. And what a beautiful and amazing and challenging journey you're going to have to embark on first. So I feel like you would have had these visions. You would have had these visions. But there were a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of mental confusion, mental anguish. I feel as well over this integrity. It is so painful, on this journey when we see our masculine and we feel, because the moment we meet, we get activated, especially when our kundalini rises, we feel them for their soul, for their highest potential, for who they really are. And sometimes looking at who they are at that moment of time, a man that is wounded, that is avoidant, that is distorted, that lacks integrity, it's painful. Right? I feel like the lack of integrity of this person and the whole situation, and you sort of awakening to what that true integrity really means and how painful it can be when it's lacking in a situation, it would have really put you in that. I'm hearing a lot of sleepless nights. I'm literally seeing someone like a ghost wandering around the house in the middle of the night, like not being able to sleep. There's a confusion, but in the same time, if you awaken this year, right, but you somehow already are connecting to your highest timeline, and you already know your first year in that it's gonna be a slow and steady long journey, it's a good sign. It means that you hold a very, very strong power within. All right, let's continue. I want to do 4 of these. One more. One more. Okay, that's too many. Do we want to take that? Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, we have number 13. We have lineage. That's a beautiful card, and that's a very, very powerful card. Okay, I do want to read that for you. This card invites you to explore the profound tapestry of your lineage of your body and lineage of your soul. You are here to break generational traumas and distorted programming that have been carried through generations. The pain and experiences of your physical ancestors are stored in your body, often manifesting as physical or emotional patterns. Similarly, your soul carries the memories and lessons of past lifetimes. Acknowledge and heal both the physical and soul lineages. Honor the journey of your ancestors by freeing yourself and future generations from inherited burdens and traumas. Okay. So we tapped into your visions. I was hearing and already mentioning past lifetimes and deep clearance. We have the lineage now. That being your first card, you would come from a very powerful lineage. And the fact that that is your first card, on top of that awakening, you would already have visions, right? Maybe you're doubting them at this point. Maybe you're not believing them at this point. Maybe there is someone like an ascended master or someone who even was an alive figure in this world that you already feel their presence with you. You already, maybe you dream about them. Maybe they're sending you, some signs through books and movies and documentaries that sort of puts your mind into a very specific, right? This collective, you would have a very powerful lineage, and it's coming to my mind, and I often say this to you guys: with great power comes great responsibility. Maybe this is why somehow subconsciously you're understanding that obviously this story, the journey is not just a love story. It's not just about two people being together. It's about so much more, about two powerful souls that come here with a great mission. But number 13 would be important as well. It's coming, to my mind for this collective. But maybe because of that, somehow subconsciously you feel already that that it's gonna take time to clear it all out. We are generational trauma breakers. I don't know why I'm hearing England. I'm hearing Joanna Dark. There's something about you already connecting to that lineage. You're already feeling into that lineage. We have throat chakra, and that's on top of that Queen of Swords. So remember we were talking about that, your inner truth, expressing yourself, really fine. I feel like it's about, being put in that situation of being that other person, that there's another woman that you have to fight, that you have to prove yourself. It's a very, true men don't do that. True men never don't do that. True men in their divinity don't do that. It's a very ugly situation, and it always comes from a place of lack of security, right? If you want people to fight over you, to prove something to you, and that's the objective, something that you want, it's never coming from a place of integrity and from a place of center, right? It's lack of self-esteem and seeking for validation. But I feel that there's always a lesson in every situation, right? And I always say this to you guys: life is truly neutral, and everything that happens to us, whatever we feel like it's not really the best thing, in the end it comes down to how do we see it, how do we react to it, how do we choose to see it, right? So obviously this is a very difficult situation to be put through if you have feelings towards someone. However, there's a learning in it. There's a learning, there is something within you, maybe that's going to be linking to your lineage, that you would feel maybe with this person, maybe even when things are happening, like you don't have your voice, like your voice has been taken away from you. I feel this collective, that you are a quite charismatic personality. So maybe in the past, I feel like this person is making you act like you've never acted with a different man before. But this is the purpose of this journey, right? So maybe in the past you were quite of a confident woman. You were quite of a right? That you didn't feel like you were, you know, the chaser and the anxious one. Like you would feel like you wouldn't feel like your power would be taken away in a relationship, like you would have to fight. Maybe in the past, even if you were put in this situation, you would say what I already said to you. If it's me or another woman, psh, take another woman, take a hike, okay? But it's like with this person is different. They acted, but it's not them. This is what we're not seeing when we're in the beginning of this journey. It is the frequency of their soul, their blueprint that is pushing them to do certain things because they remember the soul contract that they have with us to awaken certain things within us so we can fully heal them. So it's not really this person that takes away your voice, but there's a trauma from the past, and I'm hearing past lifetime, that needs to be cleared out, that your voice were taken away from you, that you couldn't speak your truth, that you couldn't stand in your truth. This collective, you would feel, maybe you were even put in a position that you actually were in a room with your person and that third party, and you wanted to say something like, right, and you couldn't. It's like the words could not come out of your mouth, your throat even, because there's a throat chakra. We have divination. That's really important. So maybe through your activations, you're already being pulled into a divination as you awaken, as you started activating. It's a beautiful thing. Not all divine feminines on this journey become, we're all spiritual teachers, we're all healers, but not all become working spiritual teachers, and not all of us become, you know, like shamans and readers and so on and so forth. There's variety of things that we can do for this world, and we all have a very unique mission. You can learn more about it. I've done an episode about the mission of Divine Feminine. It's part of my Divine Feminine Masterclass. But I feel like having this in that lineage and having this in your first spread, like overall 2025, it means that this is important. So you would already be pulled into a specific divination. Maybe you are meant to be witchy poo, whether that's tarot, whether that's in, I always say this to you guys, it's such a misconception. Divination tool, our ancestor tool, are tools that come with our lineage, are sacred tools. We should not grab divination tool if we know nothing about these things, okay? We should not be doing tarot, reading tarot, dowsing rods, the OG board, right? We shouldn't be using the crystal ball. That is meant for people who are awakened channels. And as you awaken as a channel, and if divination is part of your path, it's part of your lineage, and you're meant to in future work with these tools, very early on your journey, there will be signs, right? There will be signs. And yes, it takes years to truly develop on this journey, but it would start pulling you in quite early. Maybe even your whole life you felt like a specific divination resonated. I don't know why I'm seeing like palm readers and crystal balls, so maybe for some of you that's the case. Like I feel like it can be a sort of a witchy poo kind of a collective. Maybe you already had some dreams about it as well, I'm hearing. It would still intimidate you, it would still confuse you, but I feel like it's pulling you in. I'm seeing a crow card. We're going to do animals deck in a moment. Number 38, maybe you are 38. It just came to my mind. But surrender to it. I always say this, if you're truly meant to be that witchy poo, you're meant to use divination tools on your path and they're part of your craft, they will pull you in. They will pull you in. You will feel that. It's going to be at one point the first thing you think about as you wake up, as you go to bed, and the whole freaking day. It's all you will want to do. It will pull you in. And we have release expectations. It's something that you would be asked to do, this collective. You would be asked to do. Whenever we create expectations from people or situations, we create energetic attachment to the physical world. maybe you even realize that at one point, this collective, that in reality, I know it's hard to, to accept that in reality, in certain situations you were suffering because you created certain expectations for yourself. Maybe there were many things with this person that were and sad